think the three things that I would probably like to add, probably not change, it would be to add more opportunity within communities around culture and art, around how we can develop our youngsters who are our future, and how we can build that confidence around communities to accept art openly. So in terms of adding to that, again, goes back to opportunity and exposure to different forms of art. I think the other thing that I'd like to add is that there is art that happens in all communities, except we don't always hear about it, we don't know about it. Art can be in any shape or any form. So I think within communities, I think it is about trying to add value to the art that's already happening as well, and supporting those artists to be able to share and connect with other artists within Peterborough, and then build on our profile of our artists and creatives in Peterborough. I think that's what I think I would really like to add to Peterborough, to our culture and our art, because it's the opportunity, it's the exposure, and not to be for a particular type of person but for a particular group. It should be open for everybody and anybody, regardless of their backgrounds or where they're from and where their journey will take them. I think it's about us acknowledging that it's okay for us to kind of come into Peterborough and start off and move off and come back again. I think that's okay as well.
I would just like to see more stuff happening, because in terms of culture in Peterborough, all I've ever noticed is the Heritage Festival, the Italian Festival, and then the Christmas market, and that's it. Every year at the same time, every year with the same things, and everything's progressing, especially coming out of the pandemic. Everything's changed, and we've got more of a platform now, I think, to push and do new things. So I would just like to see a lot of more involvement with culture and the arts and community spaces, because we've just not had that, and now we can. Other things I'd like to change, definitely more arts funding, because as a young artist myself, I have to piggyback off other people, and I have to leech my way into festivals and art galleries, and there's no real platform for young people like myself who are trying to get their name out, and everything's on social media. So if you're not on social media, you're just not getting that access. So I think definitely more funding for the youth in the arts.
Okay, 3 things I would like to change or add to Peterborough. I think the first thing that is a big thing for me, I think especially being a young poet laureate as well, is I just really love for more young people to feel that they're entitled to be creative and they belong to a city that's culturally, diverse and inviting. I think sometimes maybe they feel doubtful of themselves. So I just really love it if more young people in Peterborough could feel that their creativity is something so impressive as well. And you don't have to wait to be older to feel like you're entitled to be creative. So that's one thing. Another thing I'd say is I think that my first thing is just people being able to feel involved with it and just not being scared to be involved with it as well. I'd say my second thing would be I would love to see more in school as well. In schools across Peterborough, like I said, there are so many amazing young talents. I think it'd be really, really good if schools could push it more. Obviously it's difficult, but I'd love to see people being just as passionate about arts and drama and music as they are about, maths and science and stuff like that.
I think adding things to Peterborough is already happening. So, as I've mentioned, with the Culture Hub, I'm really looking forward to that and the changes that are being made, because we are a very cultural city. We've got so much history, we've got such a vast array of people and so multicultural that I think Culture Hub is absolutely fantastic, and I'm really excited about that. So I think we need to carry on that route. We need to make sure that we carry on being as inclusive as possible, and remember that as much as we've got our history, it is all about using that history to make us even better for the people that are here now. And we want to make this city bigger and better than it is, and that means welcoming everybody as one. And so we need to use that. So yeah, we need to keep down on that path. Something I might change, it might seem silly to some people, is maybe our local media doesn't always think about how it works. It's very much, it follows how the national media deal with things, and a lot of its articles or its headlines are very separative. So they're very much, this is happening, look at those people, or this has happened, look at those people, they're to blame. And that's not what Peterborough is about, and that's not what we want to be about. So I think, considering it's a local paper, I realise it's owned by a national company, but they really should be taking on a little bit more responsibility to try and be a community paper and make the community of Peterborough a lot better than what it actually is. I think the council need to take on a bit more responsibility. They need to remember that we are a city that needs a proper community. We need that security. We don't need more housing. We don't need more expensive housing. We need things that will bring people into the city. What brings people into the city is something that's a little bit unusual, and just things that people would expect. We need to look after the people that are already here as much as it is about bringing more people in. Remember the people that are here, remember what they actually want, and remember how to look after them. And if you can do that, more people will automatically come, because they'll hear good things about Peterborough.
I think there should be more opportunities for art and drama, although there are quite a few facilities around here. But I think as Peterborough is growing so fast and there's so much developments, I think there should be more opportunities for younger generation to be allowed to have access to all these facilities like art, culture and drama and music and things. And that should be probably outside the school hours, so the pupils or students from the schools can take part in these dramas and music, etc. And as well as that, the council should cater for youths in town after school hours, so that there is less crimes and they get occupied in the things they are interested in. And probably it should be subsidized, because quite a lot of families can't afford to send their children to drama school or music school or something and take part in art after school hours. So it should be made affordable or subsidized. Also, there should be more events like Lantern Festival, which was organized by Metal some years ago, probably 5-7 years, I think, I can't remember rightly. And that was to bring the communities together. Such festivals should be organized on regular basis. Also, this is my personal opinion, they should have a huge prayer room where all the religions are displayed. Because at the moment, each religion has got their own place of prayer, like we got our temple, they got the mosque, and there are churches, etc. So if there was a common place of prayer where all the gods and goddesses of all the religions are placed, and anybody can go in and have a walk around, maybe learn about their religion or different religions and things, probably learn about their culture. So I think there should be a display or a sort of museum type thing, where all these things are displayed, and even the visitors to Peterborough can go into that and at least either pray or learn something about different cultures and religions. And also that they need to form partnership. I don't know whether a partnership exists between art and culture and all the businesses and religions and communities and things with the city council to promote their identity, promote their culture, promote their religion, and to generally promote goodwill within the communities through these partnerships.
Alright, about the changing, so probably I would like that it would be more young people to be involved in all stuff we are doing here. I think the young people, they are future of the city and they have to be involved. In all project we are doing, or in main projects, we are doing. So more work and cooperation should be done with young people. And also I think I would change or I would improve the advertising of art and culture stuff we have here, because I think it's not enough and it should be improved.
What would be the three things that I would like to change about Peterborough? To be honest with you, rather than three, I'd like one massive one. I'd like to make it much more accessible to the disabled community. People forget that there's a lot of disabled people in the UK. There's over 13 million disabled people, and there's something called the Purple Pound, which is the collective spending power of disabled people and their families. And in the UK, that's £249 billion a year. And sadly, the business community and various other institutions haven't really made the effort to make themselves particularly accessible. And what that means to me is that they are not seeing disabled people and their families in the same way. They, like as a business, as a community, you can't afford to turn away from the opportunity of tapping into £249 billion a year. And I really want things to be more accessible so disabled people and their families can go and enjoy the arts and crafts scene, but also so that up and coming disabled artists feel like they have the opportunity to be able to express themselves. And again, that's why metal is so good, because they're really open to disabled artists. And I think when you're talking to disabled artists, sometimes you have to think outside the box a little bit. So really it's disability and making it more accessible that's really the most important point for me.